For years, the Kremlin has tracked the rise of the adrenochrome underworld, an elite-driven black market fueled by terror ritual and unthinkable depravity. But last week, everything changed. In the cold heart of Davos, where the global elite gathered behind closed doors, undercover Russian operatives launched a high-risk raid, seizing over 11,000 vials of pharmaceutical-grade adrenochrome and uncovering intel that blows the operation wide open. At the centre of it all, John Podesta, longtime Clinton advisor, spirit cooker, and collector of degenerate arts, and now wanted dead or alive by the Russian Federation. Putin has placed Podesta on an international watch list and unleashed his adrenochrome task force to bring him in, or stop him in his tracks. The message is clear. The hunt is on, and the days of silence are over. Last week, while the world's elites sipped champagne in Davos and toasted to the next round of global initiatives, a silent storm was brewing. A strike team, undercover, unsanctioned, and ruthlessly effective, executed a covert raid on a facility rumoured to be the nexus of one of the darkest secrets known to man, the trafficking of adrenochrome. According to high-level sources, Russian operatives posing as Ukrainian delegates dismantled a shipment of 11,720 vials of pharmaceutical-grade adrenochrome, what President Putin has chillingly referred to as the devil's narcotic. The team seized documents, digital records, and biological samples that investigators claim have cracked the elite's blood-drug network wide open.
Funde auf das Scheißding, Lüget. Adrenochrome, home delivery, everything. Bro, was soll das? Was ist das, Mann?
And at the centre of it all, a name we've heard before. A name tied to too many whispers and too many sealed files. John Podesta, also known as Skippy.
What's my name? What's my name? My other name. What do you call me? I am your father. From now on, you will call me your father. Shut up. You will call me your father. What is my name, huh?
I'm just a kid who's 4. Each day I grow some more.
Now, in an unprecedented move, President Putin has officially banned Podesta from entering the Russian Federation, placing him on an international watch list. And, most shockingly, instructed his adrenochrome task force that the longtime Clinton associate is wanted dead or alive. According to Putin, his crime centre on trafficking the devil's narcotic to an elite class of Western VIPs and celebrities. Individuals who in recent years have grown disturbingly brazen in their belief that they're entitled to exploit the bodies of children for their own gratification.
This way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these, some of you, I think many of you know it, and it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes the serum.
What are you pushing into the skin, Sandra?
Sarah?
Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby. That's what it is.
Okay.
Who comes up with this?
I don't think, it's not like I'm lying there with little pieces all over my face. It's like.
Just when you thought the depths of elite depravity had been fully plumbed, another layer emerges. Sources inside the Kremlin's adrenochrome task force are now sounding the alarm about a new variant of the drug. They're calling it bone dust. Unlike adrenochrome, which is extracted from the blood of traumatized victims, bone dust is synthesized from the powdered remains of human bones, preferably those of young children. Ground during occult ceremonies and then chemically altered, this substance produces a prolonged hallucinogenic euphoria, enhanced perception, and, according to some, spiritual possession of the demonic kind. It's being passed around among the highest circles of the elite. Tech magnates, political dynasties, Hollywood power brokers, all behind closed doors. All under the guise of what the elite are calling demonic experimentation. Kremlin insiders say that bone dust was also discovered during the Davos raid, hidden in lead-lined containers, bearing occult amulets, and carbon dating back to recent years. Forensic analysis suggests a coordinated supply chain, one that stretches from orphanages and war zones to underground crematoria, is a system built on silence, fear, and blood currency.
South Korea reports seizing thousands of smuggled drug capsules containing an unusual added ingredient, the powdered flesh from dead babies. Some people believe they can cure disease. The Korea Customs Service says they were made in northeastern China from babies whose bodies were chopped into small pieces and dried on stoves before being turned into powder. But they wouldn't say where they believe the babies came from or exactly who made the capsules, citing possible diplomatic friction with Beijing. The contents, though, were identified by scientific testing.
When we analysed it, the powdered material sequence is better than a 99.7% match with a human DNA sequence.
No one's been reported ill from ingesting them, but scientist Shin Woo-gi warns they have the potential to be dangerous.
We also see superbacteria and other germs and viruses harmful to a person if consumed.
Some of the capsules were carried in luggage, others were sent by international mail. The smugglers told customs officials they believed the capsules were ordinary stamina boosters and didn't know the manufacturing process. One official said no one's been punished, but a customs clearance director at Incheon Airport warned consumers should be careful about health food supplements where the ingredients aren't clearly marked.
Behind it all lies a sprawling, shadowy network of traffickers, brokers, and elite consumers, operating across continents, embedded in institutions once thought untouchable. Some are already being quietly detained, vanishing into black site custody as Putin's adrenochrome task force widens its global dragnet. Others are being named in the mainstream press, though the headlines are vague, the charges watered down, and the true scope of the operation deliberately obscured. But the cracks are forming, and the truth is starting to bleed through. According to Russian sources, the Western media is circling the wagons around Podesta to shield him from scrutiny, even though his crimes are hiding in plain sight. Remember the time John and Tony Podesta, along with Ghislaine Maxwell, were wanted for questioning by police in Portugal regarding the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. The story briefly surfaced and then vanished without a trace. What happened? To cut a long story short, the Clintons got involved. And suddenly, the wanted posters disappeared, the warrants were dropped, and the images were scrubbed from the record. But we do know that John and Tony Podesta were in the area at the time. What are the chances? According to the media, it's just another coincidence that you need to scrub from your mind. This is the $1 million mansion belonging to Clement Freud, a grandson of Sigmund Freud, that sits only a few blocks from where Madeleine was abducted. Police in Suffolk confirmed that the now-known paedophile Clement Freud was out of the country when the abduction took place. But here's the kicker. His home had been loaned to two of his friends. Their names? You guessed it. John and Tony Podesta. Just another coincidence, I'm sure you'll agree. Police put out e-fit images of the suspects wanted for questioning, which bore an uncannily resemblance to the Podesta brothers, before they were suddenly retracted without any explanation. What did Putin's agents discover in Davos? How is Podesta connected to the shipment? And why now? Stay with us, because what we're about to reveal next could blow the lid off the entire global adrenochrome pipeline. Years before WikiLeaks published John Podesta's personal emails, revealing his interest in some very questionable things, Andrew Breitbart went on record asking, "What's in your closet, John Podesta?"
This is a concerted effort. This is a concerted effort. Politics of personal destruction. Fuck you, John Podesta.
All right, well, you see where I'm coming from.
Okay, yeah.
When I talk, that's because I am interested in this ongoing whatever the hell they're doing.
What's in your closet, John Podesta?
Whatever the hell they're doing. What's in your closet, John Podesta?
What did Andrew Breitbart know? We'll never know because he died of a heart attack in 2012 at the age of 43. Fast forward 4 years, and we broke the news that there was evidence of paedophile code words used in emails from John Podesta released by WikiLeaks. Numerous emails from the chairman of Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign incongruously referred to food items such as pasta, cheese, pizza, and ice cream, in ways the FBI warned are used as code words by paedophiles. For anyone who hasn't been paying attention, the elites are heavily into paedophilia and Satanism because these are the ways for them to first prove they are sociopathic enough to be trusted with great crimes, and second, to prove that they can trust each other despite being sociopaths. Third, they all have dirt on each other. Fourth, Satanic ritual abuse is also used to create controllable split personalities, like the Manchurian Candidate. And fifth, Lucius needs his louche. John Podesta has been hounded by questions about Pizzagate.
Okay, so you've talked a lot about Trump, his administration, Clinton, the election. I'm wondering if you can address some of the controversies or maybe just conspiracy theories tied to you, your brother, and the Podesta group. So whether that's your personal email leak as it relates to Pizzagate, the undisclosed 75,000 shares of stock you received from the Kremlin, potentially violating financial disclosure laws, Uranium One being a client of the Podesta group, why your brother left the Podesta group after facing criminal inquiry. As an aspiring person in politics, I'm curious as to how you're dealing with all of these accusations. Thank you.
This is how the alt-right does fake news. And it's personally painful because a lot of this is really total bullshit. And I am sick of the, I have been, my family and I have been put through this Pizzagate bullshit for a year, which has been totally debunked, by the way.
He's wrong. It hasn't been debunked. It has simply been covered up by complicit mainstream media fact-checkers and journalists, many of whom have since been arrested on closely related crimes. Here's a photo released by WikiLeaks featuring John Podesta and a team of adults in a cult-like setting, all wearing the same clothes. There is also a young girl, the only person in the room wearing different clothes, looking traumatized. What's in your closet, John Podesta? While he continues to keep the closet door tightly shut, the artwork displayed in his and his brother Tony's homes speaks volumes, offering disturbing clues that may be enough to warrant investigation into some of the most depraved crimes imaginable. Why did John Podesta's office have a painting of two men cutting up and eating another man hanging on the wall at the 2015 Clinton campaign headquarters? And why, during Hillary Clinton's doomed presidential campaign, were the Podesta brothers attending Marina Abramovich's infamous spirit cooking sessions? Rituals cloaked in avant-garde art, but loaded with unsettling symbolism. According to Russian sources directly involved in the raid, the media are colluding with Swiss authorities and the Davos elite to bury the story. Total blackout. No headlines, no questions, no leaks. Their reputations are far too fragile. Their secrets too deep. They can't afford the world knowing what was really seized beneath the snow-covered summit. And from the operative's perspective, it was flawless. A precision strike. As one source put it, the perfect heist against the most protected evil on Earth.
You won't hear about this on the news, not CNN, not BBC, and definitely not from the World Economic Forum. It's too dangerous for them. They know if they speak, it all unravels. The raid, it was clean, surgical. We had intel weeks in advance. Satellite images, cargo manifests, encrypted messages between handlers. We knew exactly when the shipment was arriving in Davos, hidden beneath medical supplies, labeled as neuro-research compounds. But it wasn't medicine. It was adrenochrome. Nearly 12,000 vials, pharmaceutical grade, sealed and tracked. And then we found something else. Bone dust. Small black canisters, marked with esoteric symbols. We ran on-site analysis And the truth was worse than rumors. Chemically refined human remains, ground to powder. We documented everything, took samples, then destroyed the rest. We couldn't risk it being recovered. The hardest part, getting out. Swiss police were tipped off, we have reason to believe, by WEF security. But they were late, sloppy. By the time they arrived, we were ghosts. No trace, no names. Just ashes where their empire of horror once stood. It was perfect. The first real blow. And it won't be the last. In the coming months, there will be more raids. High-profile names. Foreign soil. We're not just chasing shadows anymore. We're gonna send them to meet their maker. This raid in Davos, it was just the beginning. A warning shot. A message written in ashes and shattered glass. We know. We see you. And we're coming. There are more operations underway, right now, in major cities. Remote compounds, even diplomatic zones. We've mapped the networks. We've traced the supply lines. We've identified the vaults where they store this fill, and the safe houses where they hide their couriers. Nowhere is safe. Not Los Angeles, not Brussels, not Tel Aviv, London, or Dubai, not even the islands where they think they can vanish behind money and influence. We've infiltrated their circles, their logistics, even their security. Some of the people they trust most, they're working for us now. There are targets already marked. Names, coordinates, high-profile individuals who smile for cameras by day and indulge in the unthinkable by night. We've got the flight logs, the encrypted messages, the payment trails, and soon the world will know. There are no more safe havens. Not for traffickers, not for the users, and not for men like John Podesta. This isn't just a task force anymore. It's a purge.
The elites are far more evil than most people can possibly comprehend. Here is Barbara Marx Hubbard of the Globalist Elite World Future Society slipping and admitting to eating babies.
We are the first species on the face of this earth to be aware of evolution, to be aware that we are affecting our own evolution by everything that we do. The babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars we fight, the babies we eat.
The Rock is also on camera joking that he likes to eat babies.
I eat children.
How
old are you?
12.
Oh, okay. Only to 10.
And Shia LaBeouf had a mental breakdown and admitted that Steven Spielberg likes to eat babies too.
Can you tell us a secret about Steven Spielberg? He eats babies. Whole babies.
Jim Carrey a few years ago said Hollywood elites eat children at Christmas. This goes all the way back to the old Canaanite religions whereby families would sacrifice their own children to their demon gods, Baal and Moloch. These occult elites still worship these ancient deities. This information has been systematically scrubbed from the internet. But it's nothing new. It's been part of human knowledge for centuries, hidden in plain sight. One of the most telling sources, an anthropological classic known as the Golden Bough, over a century old, and yet still one of the most comprehensive accounts of ritual sacrifice and occult tradition ever published. It's not fringe, it's not obscure. In fact, it makes a brief appearance at the end of Apocalypse Now, a quiet nod to the ancient blood-soaked truths lurking behind civilization's mask. Probably the most famous Satanist of all time, Aleister Crowley, once remarked that the most perfect sacrifice is the young boy of innocence and very high intelligence. But I'm sure he was only joking. Just like The Rock, Shia LaBeouf and Steven Spielberg were joking. They can try to silence the truth, rewrite history to fit their corrupt agenda, but it won't work. The truth always finds a way to surface. As Winston Churchill said, the truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but in the end, there it is. These are critical times, and here at TPV Towers, we're determined to expose the elites and hold them to account before it's too late. Join us in our mission to wake up the masses by subscribing to the channel and joining the People's Voice Locals community to join our amazing team.